So, the secret is out. American Fleotrol can get you good sales, but is someone telling you everything you need to know? Once again, we're going to compare American Fleotrol to Australian Floetrol, but this time we are going to talk about how to consistently get the American Fleotrol to flow and work. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown. It's over.
Oh, okay. Coming in at a smooth 1 gallon, we have American Fleotrol. Now, this may be the underdog in this contender, but this thing is big, mighty, and has some tricks up its sleeve. Coming in the left corner, quick on its feet, and affectionately known as Liquid Gold, this is Australian Floetrol. This Floetrol comes in at a whopping 1 liter, but don't let the size fool you because this thing packs a punch. So, my approach to each bloom will be the exact same. I'm going to be using the same paints and pouring medium. Now, before we get too deep in this thing, let me first say this. Both Floetrols will work for your bloom. Now, I'm not promising that they're going to both work today in this experiment. I want to put it into a different perspective because sometimes people tell you all this, but if you can think of it in another way, it helps. I got you. I want you to think of your Floetrols as 2 cars. Your Australian Floetrol is your brand new car off the lot. Nothing wrong with it. As long as you have the keys, the wheels, and everything to operate the car, it's going to drive like a dream. That's your Australian Floetrol product. You should get some really great results. But your Floetrol is your used car. It runs well, but that used car needs a little bit of TLC from time to time. You got to put a little maintenance, a little oil change, a little carburetor, a little, so you got to make some changes. That's exactly how the American Fleotrol product is. Right. So we are going to start by mixing our cell activator. I'm going to start out with a 3-to-1 ratio. I normally don't measure, but I decided to for this experiment. You will have to make adjustments to your cell activator. Your recipe may work in the summertime, but in the wintertime it may not work, so keep that in mind. This is 3 parts Floetrol to 1 part titanium white paint. All right, so you want to mix this product very well. You cannot over stir cell activator. It's light enough to where the bubbles will dissipate. So here's the drip test. Very flowy and light off the stick. All right, so we're going to lay our pillow. Today we're pouring on a 6x6 panel canvas board. So I want to have enough paint on here so that my bloom will cover the entire panel board. We're going to top this off with some black. Now this is not a cell activator. This is just a color mixed with the pouring medium. Okay, folks, this is our Australian Floetrol. Beautiful composition. Love, love, love. Okay, folks, so here we are. Look at the beautiful cells. We have some peacock cells in here. And as you can see, the cell activator has activated. The white does take on a little bit of the black, but it remains white, and then you get these beautiful, big, juicy cells and lacing. We are going to move on to our American Fleotrol. Once again, we're going to be mixing a 3-to-1 ratio. We're adding our titanium white. To this mixture, I'm adding a couple drops of Flow Aid. This happens to be Flow Medium by Master's Touch or GAC 800. Literally just a couple drops. And lastly, I'm going to be adding our infamous stinky wood conditioner by Minwax. For me, this is what I do. This is a very small spoon. You literally need about a drop. I literally take the residue from the spoon and drop it in here. Need one more drop. When you get this all mixed up and you close this back up, you stir it, and let it sit for about 5 minutes. You should not smell the Minwax that's in here. If you do, it should be a very, very faint smell. And now we're going to stir like crazy. And this is the drip test. So it flows almost identical to the Australian Floetrol. To me, it's just a tad bit heavier because the product is heavier. All right. So as you can see, you get a different reaction, but the cells are really pretty as they come in. I love being able to watch those cells just pop up slowly. All right, so about 4 minutes has passed, and as you can see, our cells have developed. All right, guys, look what we got going on here. And there we have it, folks. This is your American Fleotrol. I see that the cell activator acts a bit differently. It stays wider, but I also noticed that around the cells, it looks like it's breaking up a little bit. Now, I wouldn't be so concerned about this. All it really is just tweaking your recipe. Remember, this product is more finicky when making cells, so it's going to require more adjustments. And here is a small tile that I did using American Fleotrol. As you can see, the cells are really, really nice. But those little edges, That must be a thing with this batch of cell activators. So, and here are a few other things that I've been working on. This one was Australian Floetrol, and I just simply used all blues and one pigment in there. So this is either pretty exciting or not. Everything dried like we left it. My apologies for the glare, but you can see this is our American Fleotrol, and the little bit of breakage in the white did not matter. It's still there, and this is our Australian. Okay, family, it has been 3 days. And what we're going to do now is we are going to test that American Fleotrol to see how it has held up. Coming up, I'm going to go over some tips for using the American Fleotrol and storing it. I have left it out for 3 days. So I want to see if you can leave this out and still get some good results. I forgot my black, y'all. All right, hold on 1 second. But we are getting some reaction. Once again, guys, this is Floetrol that is 3 days old, left out. Look at those cells, man. And this is after the spin. Look at there, guys. Goodness for my soul. All right, it has been a week. Now, I need a haircut. It's about 11:30 p.m. and I look terrible. So I'm not going to show myself, but trust me, it has been a week since I first shot the video. We're going to use the same paints. As you can see, I'm almost out of both colors. I have no clue what the Australian Floetrol is going to do because I haven't played with it since day 3. I will tell you though that I will continue experimenting. I'm not going to make this video any longer than it already is, but check for the pinned comment. I'll give you an update on what I'm doing with it, and I'll probably do a follow-up video very soon. One week later, and we still have sales. I'm really excited about this, y'all. And here we go, folks. This is what it looks like after we spin. And I'm super happy. So you can get some good sales a week later with your American Fleotrol. We know that working with American Fleotrol can be tricky. What I like to do, and I do this with a lot of my paints, most of my paints actually, I recommend keeping your Floetrol in a container like this. This is actually a 2-ounce container. versus a container with a lid, because it's hard to really seal and make sure that the air is not seeping out. And with something like this, you can't guarantee that the air is not seeping out. Over time, the properties that make up the Floetrol tend to change when they are constantly being introduced to air. This is purely speculation and just from what I've experienced over the last couple of months dibbling and dabbling with the storage of Floetrol. Even a container like this, if it's not filled to the brim, look how much air is trapped inside. And even though this is a Betty Crocker, so reputable brand, I still think a lot of air is going to be seeping in and out of this. I have been able to keep American Fleotrol up to about 2 weeks, and it still worked. Now, the cells weren't as robust and they didn't come out as much, but the definition was there. So recently, Floetrol began making the white caps, and once again, this is purely speculation. I find that the new formula, when Floetrol was really hard to find, and a lot of the bottles were going bad with the orange cap, I find that this formula works better and it lasts longer. I don't know if they made any changes or not, but I want to give as much information as I have to you to help you, in your painting journey. So, big tip is always smell your Floetrol at the store. It should smell very fresh, kind of similar to like an Elmer's glue, but it should be pure white. It should not be any other color. And also make sure you shake it. Shake it every time you use the product, because this product does settle quickly. Another really important tip is your climate. This is the average temperature over each month where I live. I would say that I live in a moderate to warm climate with lots of humidity in the summer. We do get some extreme temps from time to time, but it's not very frequently. For your cell activator, especially with the American Fleotrol, you're going to have to adjust based on where you live. So if you live in a cooler climate, you want your paints to be, especially your cell activator, to be slightly thinner so that it flows, because cold temperatures tend to make your paint thicker. For me, I have noticed that I get the best reaction when my paints are a little bit warmer. So when it's a little warmer outside, for me, that's 60s and 70 degrees and up. So the days that it has been warmer, I have noticed that my American Fleotrol acts a little bit better. Over these last couple of weeks, when it has been really cold outside and it's been sleeting or snowing a little bit, I can get the cell activator to work, but I have to make a lot more tweaks to it, and it doesn't last as long. And I'm just playing around a little bit as I give you some tips, just so you have something to look at and engage with. The Minwax conditioner is an important component. I will say that I have done this experiment without it, and it does work. However, I tried to use the cell activator the next day and it did not work. So I have a recommendation. If you don't like the wood conditioner, I also would recommend products with dimethicone in it. A lot of your hair serums and things will have that in there, but you need very little. You don't want to add too much oil, which will make it harder to varnish if you plan on using resin, but a little bit goes a long way. And by you containing your cell activator in something that is airtight like this, there's a less chance that some of those components are going to escape or evaporate. And as we wrap this thing up, remember that, if your paint's thicking up, so the paints that you've mixed with your pouring medium then that may require you change your cell activator as well. Thank you, family, for tuning in with me. Remember, do everything with love. Treat your family with love, treat your friends with love, and even treat your enemies with love. Until the next time, be safe, and I will see you in another video. Peace.